Hey everybody, Heather here. So today we're going to be coloring this super cute Magnolia image called Love is in the Air. And I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. And if you'd like to grab a kit, I will put a link down in the description box. Or if you'd like to check out the store, there's a whole bunch of other great stuff in there for you to see and purchase. So let's color. So I'm going to start out by outlining my image, and for that I'm going to use C1 and my colorless blender. So let's start with C1. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of her foot here first. And I'm just going to go all the way around her. And I didn't do any of the little hearts this time. I just went around the girl. She's got a little spot right here where her neck is, so I'm going to do that now before I forget. And we'll just work our way around, clear around this way. And if you get some on her, it's not a big deal because we can just go ahead and erase that with our colorless blender. Down to the bottom here, and she's also got a little patch right here that's background, so I'm going to color that in. And oops, my way around her hair. And back down to the bottom of her shoe. And next, I took my colorless blender and I just went around over the whole thing. This works out good too if you haven't colored her, because it doesn't matter if you touch her. So I'm just going to scrub right over my line, going past it. And just scrub that around, and it's softening that edge. And I think I'll go over it again, so I'm going to go back. And I'm just quickly, and this works best if your colorless blender is full or not empty. Next, let's go do the ground, and for that we're going to use W3, W1, and W00. So I'm going to start with my W3, and I'm just going to go just above her sole right here. And I'm just going to flick away from that. I'm going to color her soles a light color, so I'm going to try not to color on those. And let's bring this side up over here a little bit. And I'm going to go around this heart. Then I'm going to grab W1. And I want to bring that out a little bit more. So I'm going to color over my W3 and just extend that line, softening that edge. And then I'm going to finish it off with W00. And again, I'm just going past the line, softening that edge. And then I like to go back with my darkest shade and add my shadow back in. So I've grabbed my W3. And we'll just put some of that shadow right back on there. Be careful not to get it on my heart. Next, let's work on our skin and her cheeks, and for that I'm going to use E11, E21, E00, E000. For the cheeks I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30. I'm going to start with my E11. I'm going to start down here on her leg. So she's got this little knee indent. I'm going to go underneath that, and then I'm going to go down the inside of her leg. Same thing for this side. I'm going to go down the inside of her leg and then get that little knee bump. And then I'm going to grab my E11, or sorry, E21. And we're going to go right over that, pulling it out here a little bit when I want to do this little knee bump. And I'm going to go underneath of her little skirt right there a little bit. Same for this side. Right along that leg, underneath of her skirt, get that little knee bump. And I've grabbed E00. I'm going to fill in this top part up here, and I'm going to pull this color almost out to the edge, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a white spot. Same for this side. Let's go right over all those colors and pull out almost to the edge. And I'm going to take my E00 to fill that in. We'll go up here and we'll do our hands. So I've got E11 again. Let's go do this one first. And she's got some great shadow bumps there already, so I'm just following those. And on this side, I'm going to go along the bottom of this hand up to her little sleeve. I'm going to grab E21, and we're going to pull that up. Careful not to color my heart. And same for this side. We're going to brush that up a little bit more. And E00. And if you get this one on the heart, that's okay, because we're going to color those red, so that will color right over the top of this light skin tone. And then we'll fill that in with our E00. Let's move on to her neck. So grab your E11. I'm going to go underneath of her neck, or underneath of her chin there, and down this side of her dress. And then E21. Brush just a little bit out here. E00. Or sorry, E00. Got lots of E's. Now we have E00 to fill that little spot in. Next, for her face, again I'm going to start with my E11. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go right along her cute little bangs. She's got a few little dips in there, so I'm going to go up into those. And I'm going to work my way down, around, and I think I'm going to pull her cheek, her face color over to this side just a little bit, like that. Since this side's tipped up, I'm going to leave that white a little bit. I'm going to grab my E11 next, or my E21, and let's just brush this color. I want to touch down on my E11 and pull my E21 a little bit further into her face. And I always use a flicking motion when I'm doing that, so I touch down, my line is fatter where I touch down my marker as to where I pull it out. It's kind of like a check mark. And then I want to connect my dot, so let's go around like this. Okay. I'm going to grab E00 next. Again, I touch down on top of my last color, and I'm flicking up into her white face. I'm going to fill it in with my E00, and I'm not worried that it's not blended all the way because I'm going to go over it again after I add my cheek color. So next, let's add cheeks. So I'm going to start with R43. Let's do this little rosy cheek over here first. So I'm going to make it dark over here. Flick that color away. And then for this side, let's do the same thing and make the edge dark, and then flick away from those little dots she's got there. I have R20, and we want to do the edge, softening that up. R30. And then to make it soften it up, I'm going to go back with my darkest color. So I've grabbed E11. Let me turn her this way so I can flick a little bit. And I'm just going to flick a little bit of that color on this side. And I'm going to go with E21. E00. And then I'm going to brush that from this side too. And then my E000 over the whole thing. And after you get done, if you feel that your cheeks are too light, you want to pinken them up again, you just go back over them with your pinks. So now let's go and work on her hair, and for that we're going to use E47, E44, E43, E42, and E41. I'm going to start with my E47. Let's go ahead and start up here at the crown of her head. So I'm just going to take my brush and add some streaks all along the top and work my way over here to the side. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this way. Working my way over to this side. Okay, and then right here where it kind of tucks behind her ear, I'm going to give it a little dab. That looks pretty good. I didn't do it on this side on my original card, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of dark over here on this side because her head's tipped down right here. So let's give that a little bit of a dark shadow. And then for her little ponytail, I'm going to do underneath of her little bow, and then above her bow, and then each place where it kind of comes out, it looks like it's kind of in like a braided. So I want to do each little spot where it looks like it's tucking underneath. And then where it's coming out from close to her face, let's do a little bit right there. And then for this side, again, we want to go where the little bow is, underneath that, and on top. And then same thing on the top up here, wherever it looks like it's kind of coming out from underneath the other hair, I'm going to add a little bit of my dark in there. And then let's try not to color her face, do a little bit up here close to her face. Okay, I'm liking that. And I'm going to grab E44 next. So let's fill in this little section right here. I'm going to bring this color up, and this color, add a little bit over here, and then I want to go all the way across like I did up here at the top. And then we want to work our way down here to all these cute little ponytails. So I'm just going to work my way down and add a little bit of shadow down on here. And get this little bow, and I'm going to fill that little section in. There's not very much left right there. And then E43 is next. Let's go up here at the top. So I'm going to start up here and just pull some of this color in. I'm just working my way down to the bottom. A little bit right here. And E42's next. So again, we just start up here at the top. Pull some of that color in there. And then I want to finish it off with my E41. I'm just going to color the rest of her hair in. And work my way down to the bottom of her little ponytails. And that just kind of blends all the colors together. Then, after I've got it all colored, I go back with my darkest color, E47, and add some shadows back in. I'm just going to go up here at the top and work my way back around. And my streaks never hit the same spot that they went the last time. I'm always adding different little spots, or they're longer. Shorter, skinnier, just different. And right here. Next, let's do her dress, and for that we're going to use Y15, Y13, and Y11. So I'm going to start with my Y15. Let's start over here on this sleeve. I'm going to take this color, I'm just going to lightly go right next to her cuff, but her cuffs are going to be a different color, so I'm not going to color on those. And I'm going to just work my way back over here and next to her sleeve over on this side. But she also got us a little crease right here, so I'm going to color that. And then for this side over here, let's do right along her dress again. And then let's go right along the bottom of her sleeve. And again, she's got a couple little shadow bumps right there. I'm going to add those in and accentuate them. And then there's a crease right here and right there. And for this little section, let's do underneath of her bow, or her little ruffle. And again, there's some lines there, so I'm just going to follow those and add them in. And work my way down to the bottom of her dress and along the little ruffle she's got going on there. And back over here to this side. So for these little ruffles she's got down here at the bottom, I'm going to make those a little bit bigger. Like that. Let's make them stand out a little bit more. Then I'm going to grab E13, and I want to soften that edge, so I'm just going to go right over the edge of my 15 and bring this color in a little bit more. I'm going to leave some white there because I still have my other color. I'm going to fill this little section in. Go right next to her hair there. And again, we want to go over all these little colors down here. And leave some white on that sleeve. Let's do the same thing over here. Go over all those little lines. Let's fill this little section in, and let's go right next to our hair right here. So that left a couple of little cute white spots. So next, let's grab E11. And we're just going to fill that section in. We just want to color all of her dress in. And then this time I really wanted her shadows to show, so I grabbed my E15 again, and I'm just going to go back in and add that dark color back in. and this is personal preference. It's just I wanted it to look a little bit different this time. You do not have to do that. And let's go down here. So now let's do the accents on her dress, and for that I'm going to use BG 13 and 11, and it looks like I forgot to put that in the instructions, so I'll have to go add that onto my instructions. So if you bought a kit, you'll need to write that on there. So BG 13 and 11. So I'm going to start with my BG 13, and let's add some cute color right along the edges, going along her shoulder here. And this wristband, and then the band down here. And then I'm going to fill that in with BG 11 next. Right on the top here. A little line there, go over that again, and clear down here to the bottom. Next, let's work on her socks, and for that we're going to use C1 and C00. So let's do C1 first, and let's just add some shadows. Let's go on the edge of this sock and add some of that shadow in there. And she's got some great lines, so you want to make sure to go down each of those. And then you're going to take C00 and just lightly go over that edge. And I left a little white patch kind of down the middle of each of her little socks. And I also use these for the ruffles up here on her dress. So I'm going to do my C1, and there's a little line right here in the middle of her little ruffle that I just went over like that. And then for down here, I went right next to the green all the way. And then for each of these little bumps, I added just a couple of little lines in there. And then later I added some stickles on there, but it just gave it a little bit of a shadow on each of the little ruffles. So next, let's go do her shoes, and for that we're going to use the same as the hair color, and it looks like I again did not put that on the instructions, so I'll go fix that. So we're going to use E47, E44, E43, E42, and E41. I'm going to start with my E47. I'm going to add that right along the back and along the bottom of the shoe, but not on the sole. And she's also got a little line right here on the top of her shoe. I'm going to go right above the top of that. Same for this one, right above that line, and then right along the sole. And I'm going to go with E44 next, and you want to soften that line, so I'm going to go up here right above it just a little bit. Same for this shoe over here. We're going to go right along that edge and just pull that line up just a tad. And this one I wanted to add a little shadow right there where her other shoe's touching, so I'm going to add the color there. And then work my way along this shoe. And then next we're going to grab E43. It's looking like I need to change the nib on this one. It's looking kind of crusty. It feels kind of dragging when I brush with it. So that means it's time for a new nib, and it's looking kind of waxy. Okay, so for this color, I'm also going to add that to the little top sections she's got on her shoe here. Like that. Get that color started. And then we're going to go with E42. And we're going to brush that up like so. Add some of that one over here. I'm going to bring this side up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to take my E41 to fill it in. And it looks like I need to refill this one. It's going empty. Okay, and let's hope we can get a little bit more out and do the sole right here. Yep, it's empty. Okay, so that leaves us with the hair bows and all these cute little hearts. And for those, we're going to use R37, R35, and R32. I'm going to start with R37. And I just want to go along each heart and give each heart a little dab of dark color. Just work your way along and add some shadow in there. I'm just going to fill that little dinky one in. And then for the hair bows, I do the center and then brush just a little dab, little line out from each little bow. And then of course we want to do these hearts. Then I'm going to go with E35. Add some more color. But I want to leave some white so that I can add my E32. Just work your way up and around. And then add a little bit of more color to each of your little bows. And then I'm going to take my E32 to fill those all the way in. That all the way around. I'll get the hair bows and like that. So here is our beautiful Tilda Love is in the Air. Doesn't she look pretty? And here is the finished card. So head over to the store and I'll put a link down in the description box. You can grab this kit and color along with me. I hope you had fun today. If you have a question, leave it in the comment box and I'll get back to you. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.